today we'll see how we'll deploy the Java applications to a Tomcat server, right? First, let's see what is the requirement first. As I said before, right? First, what we have to do, we have to first analyze the requirement. If you don't understand the requirement properly, then you cannot set up an automations. First, you have to understand the requirement. So the requirement is, let me just write down the requirement. Requirement is build and deploy. Very simple. Okay. So this project I'm going to show you only build and deploy. And the upcoming projects, we'll see some other stages. What are the stages are there? We'll see how we can do that. Okay. Build and deploy a Java project. This is what our requirement. So as we had discussed already, what we need first thing is what tool we have to use. As we are learning Jenkins and we are going to set up everything in the Jenkins itself, right? So first, what we need a Jenkins server, and this Jenkins server is already set up, right? Now let me do. Suppose this is our Jenkins server, and what we need, and this project. So we know that Jenkins can be used as a build server also, right? Jenkins also has capability to build the projects, right? But in our case, what happens? We are going to create a separate build server for our Java application. So whenever you work in the real time, right? So what will happen? You will have multiple other agents, right? As your build server or some execution server or some servers which you need like some quality testing or something, right? For that you need to add as agent in the Jenkins, right? So in this case, actually in our project case, what we are going to do, we are going to set up a build server. Okay, we'll set up a build server. This will be our build server. And what we need after the build is done, what we need? We need another server, web server, right? Web server where we will deploy our Java applications. So, and this is why we need web server. This project is a web-based Java application. Web-based Java application. For web-based Java application, any web applications, you need a web server. Any web applications you are going to deploy, you need a web server. So in our case, we are going to use suppose Tomcat server. Okay, so we are going to use the Tomcat server. This will be our Tomcat web server. Good. So for that, what we need? We need two EC2 instances to be created. One EC2 instance will make our build server. Another EC2 instance, I'm going to make Tomcat server. Okay, so I'll do everything from the scratch, right? So what I'm going to do here, let's go and log into your AWS account. Okay, okay. So what I can do, just click the image, right, and imagine Linux to create here available, right? Select. And what are we going to do? Instance type T2 micro. This is the feature. Let's select key pair. Quickly, I'm doing this. I'm not going to explain anymore. Select the existing key pair. Then, so I believe you guys are now comfortable with this, right? So I created one instance. Name it as web server. Let's quickly create one more server. Okay. So as per our requirement, now we got two servers ready: build server and Tomcat server. Okay. As this is a Java application, right? This is a Java application. So what we are going to do, we need Java to be installed on the build server, right? To build the, so what will be? We need Java. Then what do we need? Maven to build the Java project, right? Build tool, we are going to use Maven. And next, we should use Git because as the build server, the entire project need to be checked out, and then it will start build, right? So these three things we have to, these three softwares we have to install in the build server, right? And the next, in the Tomcat server, also we need Java because it is a Java applications to deploy and run the Java applications. So we need Java to be installed. So what I'm going to do here, let's install Java. Then we have to install Tomcat. These two is required in the web server. Okay. So now we are clear. So now we have identified what we need. So what setups we have to do now? If you see, this particular Jenkins server will trigger the build. Okay. Once the build is done, what will happen? The Jenkins will deliver. Jenkins will deliver that to Tomcat server, Tomcat web server. So what I'm going to do here, whatever things are there from build server itself, I'm going to deliver to the Tomcat server, right? So Jenkins will do that. So what I'm going to do, Jenkins will deliver that to the Tomcat server, but this through build server, through build server that will build there, and from there it can be delivered. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, first let's go ahead and install Java, Maven, and Git. Okay. Let's log into the server. EC2 hyphen user address, then get the IP address of the build server, right? Yes. So I connected back to the build server. Now what I'm going to do, first let's install Java. Okay. As our applications, which versions of application it is? Java 1.8. So for that, what we need, Java 1.8 to be installed. Okay. Now let's go ahead and install Java 1.8. So I have just written one statement here: install Jenkins, or this is Jenkins, right? Install Java on 2023 machine and install Java on Linux 2 machines. And this is our Linux 2 machines, Amazon Linux 2 machine, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this OpenJDK 1.8 to be installed on the build server. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let's go ahead and sudo yum install OpenJDK. Okay. So just wait for a few seconds. Done. So in the build server, first thing is Java installed. Now let's check the versions. Java version here. So we have 1.8 JDK is installed. Now what we can do now, we need to install Maven, right? So Maven, while installing Maven, you should aware about that what version of Maven you need to install. Then you need to check with your development team, right? What versions of Maven they are going to use in the form.xml, or they're going to use to build the project. So they will be manually building whenever they're writing some code, right? So they'll first do some unit test and then build it, right? For that, what I have to, you have to check with them what build they are going to use. So that particular versions we have to get it, right? So let's download Maven. Okay, so any versions based on a requirement. So download, and remember this is Apache product, Apache Maven. Okay, go to their official website maven.apache.org, and here you can see there are a few binary tar file, zip file, and all there, right? Tar file. Okay. So what you can do, sudo w get it, and then we have to untar it, right? So sudo tar hyphen xvf, give the file name whatever we downloaded. This is the one, right? So it is extracted everything now. This is the folder which we have to rename to Maven. Right? Now let's delete this one. We don't need this zip file anymore. So I can just give, every time you have to use sudo. Okay? Super user, you have to delete it. Then MV Apache to Maven. Then so now we have this Maven thing. Now what we have to do, we have to, based on our requirement, we need the Git to be installed. And to install Git, it will be very simple. If you are doing R&D, like in your doing practice in your laptop or in your server, but when you are going to work for a company, you don't have to directly install everything, because company will have some standard and policies. Then you have to get everything from their internet, their own repository system, own server. They'll keep the licensed versions of the software. Then you have to get it and install it. Okay, so you'll come to know when you start working there. But here, what you can do, simply you can just use sudo yum install git. Happen? Yes. So what it will do, it will just install the latest version of Git. Okay, let's check the Git versions. See, 2.40 Git is installed. Right. So Git is installed, Maven is installed also. Right. So there are a few setups we need to do for the Maven. Okay. As you know, right, in the Jenkins, when we set up initially, what we had done some tool configurations, right? So where we have to do the tool configurations, Nico? Where we have to do the tool configurations? Manage Jenkins, go to the tool section, okay? And there we have to go for the Maven things, right? Maven, here already you can see opt/Maven. So when we set up and start working, we have to give this name in our pipeline, as well as the path will automatically be captured. Now in our build server, what we have done, we have put the OPT in the OPT Maven, we have put it there, right? Now everything has already been set up. Now what we can do, see, once the build server is done, we have to set up the agent so that Jenkins can talk to the build server, can send the build to the build server to execute. So what we can do, we have to set up the agent now, right? So how we'll do, can anybody guide me? Go to manage Jenkins. What do we have to do? Go to nodes and clouds. There we can set up the new node. Go here and just give a name like Java build server. Some name, okay? You have to provide it here. Select it as permanent agent, okay? Create. And descriptions you have to provide it. Let me select two executors and remote directory where you want this to work. Okay, just provide the remote directory. Suppose I'll give it as home EC2 hyphen user. Let's give the home directory. Okay, and labels. So every node will have a label. So I'm going to give this label, and I'll tell you where to use this label and how to use it. Okay. Now users use this node as much as possible. That means, yeah, use this node as much as possible means, if no node is online, any executions, any job will start, the master will redirect to the node machines. But that is actually wrong. We should not make it use this node as much as possible for this build server. What we have to do? Only build jobs with label expressions matching this node. So that means the label, whatever we have given the labels, these labels should match with the job, then only it will work. then only that job will come to this server. Okay. Now, uh, okay, here launch method already have shown you. So launch agent by connecting to its controller. Done. Let's of things, the rest of the things leave it as it is. Keep this agent online as much as possible. Save it. So which one? The Java build server, right? Go here and it provides some commands and you need to execute where? Run from agent command line. So you have to log into the agent and from there you have to execute. What I'm going to do, let's go here and try executing it. Okay, let's copy this first command. What it will do, the first command, it will download the agent.jar from the Jenkins server. See, this is the Jenkins server, right? This is the Jenkins server. From this Jenkins server, it is going to download this agent.jar to the agent server, right? Hit enter. Now, if I see here, see the agent.jar is there. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start the agent by executing this java-jar agent.jar, and this whatever the command it has given, you have to simply copy and paste it here. Okay, hit enter. What is it? This version of the Java runtime only recognizes class file versions up to 52.0. A JNI error occurred. Please check your installations and try again. In thread main Java branch has been compiled by more than recent version of Java. So what we did? We installed Java 1.8, but this isn't. We have got it from Java 11. Our Jenkins installed on the Java 11. Okay, so what we can do now? Let's get the Java 11 installed also. Remember, we can have multiple Java versions in our system. So we have currently Java hyphen. If I just give version 1.8, Java 8 is there. Now let me just install Java 11. Okay, so I'll just get this one so that Java 11 also will get installed. So this command sudo Amazon Linux extras. This is a package manager for Amazon Linux. Install Java Open JDK 11. Yes. Enter. Now let's check what is the version is installed. So we have still 1 point. It says still 1.8, right? So now the default it takes 1.8. Now I have to change it to 11. How I'll do that? There is a command actually. That's called sudo update alternatives. Okay. See what it says when I did sudo update hyphen alternatives hyphen config Java. So what it'll do, it will show us how many Javas are installed. See, we have 1.8 and we have 11 also, right? And you can see here star mark. This is the default one. This is the current selection. Now, what I have to do, I have to change it. It's giving type the selection number to change it, right? Current selection. So I want to make it 2 here. Then now if I just do just do now if I just do Java hyphen version, see now it is changed to Java 11. Okay, what we can do now, we can execute the same command again. Let's see, copy this Java hyphen jar, run this. See, this time it is connected. So this is how, guys, you have to troubleshoot in case of any issues occurred while setting up any Jenkins job or Jenkins work. If you are doing any Jenkins setup automations, you have to work like this. Okay. Now, if we can see here, it is connected. If I go back to the agent now nodes, and you can see it is online now. And here we have to execute a Java build server. Now our Java build server is ready. This is completely done. Now what I can do here, let's, okay, before that, actually, I need to do some setups here. What kind of setups we have to do? As we have installed Maven there, we need to do some kind of setups actually. So here we have installed Maven, but 3.9 versions of Maven, right? So what we can do here, um, let me tell you, in a profile D file, okay, the profile .d file, we have to create a script to update it. Let me tell you why we need it. So log into a different server, different tab. Okay. So the same server, let's log in. SSH-I. What I can do here, let's copy the IP address. Then what I can do here, I need to go to the, I have to go to the directory path here. What is this? etc slash profile.d. Okay. So what I'm doing, etc slash profile.d. So what is this profile.d? Folder actually, where whatever script or whatever things you keep it during the system reboot, right? When you reboot the systems or change the cell, what will happen? It will automatically execute the script, whatever is there inside. Whatever there inside, it will execute it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file called Maven environment.sh, means I'm going to set up some Maven environment. Okay, now hit enter. This is the script we open, Maven environment.sh, and there we simply add these few things here. Let me explain you what are these things. Now we can see here what I did. I just added export. Export is the command to, like in Windows, we create the environment variables where we have to set up the environment variables and it will work, right? In Linux, we have to use export command to set up the environment variables. So here the environment variables, I have given m2 underscore home. You have to provide like this, m2 underscore home equal to opt slash maven. So our maven is kept under opt directory, right? And then path, I'm going to give empty. So I'm going to change this path and adding this maven home directory to the path. Java home directory, so we are going to use T 1.8 versions of Java, right? So let's select this. Let's go to user lib, and here we'll see Java 1.8 also there, 11 and 8. Okay, as we are going to build our applications on 1.8, so 1. Java 8 versions are there. Okay, fine. So what I can do now, check the permissions, first provide the executable permissions. So how to provide the executable permissions? We can use the command chmod and give executable, all executable permissions, right? So let me just give us 777, but 777 is a risk. We are going to give means all permissions, no. So better give. So let's provide 755. It should be under root user. Okay, chmod 755. Then maven.sh. See, we have given the executable permissions to this subscript. Then, so what we can do now? Sudo dot slash done, right? So what I can do here, Java home environment variable is not defined correctly. This environment variables need to run this program. Java home underscore home environment variable. So let's go to cd etc. So earlier it was not working. Now it is, when I give mvn, it is at least giving some error, right? Means Java environment is. How come? See, when I exited from the server and connected back, it executed the profile.p file. Under the profile.p file, we had that sh script, right? Maven environment that executed and it gave us the command Maven. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, it's saying that Java underscore home is not set up properly. So what I can do, let's go to the etc profile, sorry, etc profile.d. So what it says, Java underscore home is this one. Okay. This time it is giving. See what happened? Why it was throwing? Why it was not working that time? Because we had set up Java 1. We had given Java home as 1.8, but default what we have set up 11. It was not working. If I just give version, see it gives us Apache Maven 3.9 and Java version is 11. But it now our Maven is installed successfully, connected successfully. So this part is completely now done. This part is now completely done. So what we have to do now next, let's set up the Tomcat server. Okay, for Tomcat server, you should know what versions of Tomcat you have to download. Similarly, Tomcat also Apache product. Maven is Apache product, Tomcat also Apache product, right? Now let's download. Same thing you have to do, download Tomcat server, Tomcat 8 suppose, and here get some tar file or zip file, whatever you want. 8.5 is there. As per our requirement, we should have a different Tomcat server. So what I have to do now, quickly, let's go ahead, get the IP address of this web server, downloads, picture, hyphen user, adlet. Okay, the same things we have to do now. Whatever we did it for the build server, I'm doing quickly. Okay, so what I have to do now, let's go ahead and same things we have already the document. Just copy the link, duplicate, then rename. Sorry, don't rename it. First, extract it, right? So jar hyphen xvf, then Apache. Then we have this folder. Let's first delete this. Delete it. Good. Now rename it Apache Tomcat 2. We can give it as only Tomcat, right? Tomcat. Then, so what I can do, let's go to the Tomcat folder. Then we have to change the user part to create one credential, right? So let's go to the cd config here. And what do we have to do? Go to the Tomcat user.xml. So here, let's add the roles and things, whatever. Manage a script GUI and all these things, right? Let's set this one. This credential is required to connect back to the Tomcat server from Jenkins. Okay. So what we did, now what we have to do, we have to start the, will it work? Exactly. So we have not installed the Java. So let's start it and see what's happening. So first we should install Java, but we have downloaded the Tomcat server. Now if we install Java also, it's fine, absolutely. So what I can do now, let's quickly start the Java. Sorry, start the server. Start. See what is it? Neither the Java home or or not the JRE home environment variable is defined. Nothing has been set up for the Java. Even if you just do Java version also, Java is not installed. Java command is not found. So quickly go ahead and install Java 11. Should be fine. No issues. Already we are into super user, so again super user is not required. Let's remove it. Install. Then Java version. So Java 11 is installed. Good. Now let's restart this server. Tomcat is now started. Got it. Let's get the IP address of that Tomcat server. If I just go here, test it, colon 8080. So for your case, make sure this 8080 is whitelisted and add it into the security group, whatever you have chosen during the server creation. In my case, it was already there. That's why I'm able to access it. Okay. In your case, if it is not opening, make sure 8080 is whitelisted. Right. Now done. So our applications is now, web server is now up also running fine. So what happens? These two requirements now fulfilled. Two requirements now fulfilled. So now we have to write the Jenkins file. So what we did first, we did the server configurations. Server configurations is done. Okay. For that, many companies they actually use Ansible or Safe or Puppet, the configuration management. See, these particular things, two servers, how much time it took? Around half an hour to do all kind of things, right? Setups. But using Ansible, so we have to write a playbook and execute it. It will connect to the server, install the software automatically. Okay, that can be done through Ansible. Safe, Puppet, SolveStack, different tools are there. But Ansible is now popular. People are using that. Good. Now what we can do? Let's write the Jenkins file. What do we have to do? We have to write the Jenkins file. So where we have to write the Jenkins file, Liana? We need to write the Jenkins file. So where we have to write now? We have to write in the project repository, right? In GitHub, we have to write the Jenkins file. So what we have to do? Let's go to the GitHub account, right? Let's log into the GitHub account. So here what we have to do, we have to just log in back. You have to just log in back to the server, GitHub. Okay. And what we can do now, simply go to the project. I'm going to work on this Devops web project. This is a Java project, Devops web project. If I just go here, see, I have around 25 branches available. I have around 25 branches, right? So our build server is done, Tomcat server is done. Now we have to write the, suppose this is the project, you got this URL from where you'll get this URL? From the developer, because you don't know about these applications, right? Developer only will give you the URL. Developer will give you the repository URL. So once you get the repository URL, you have to go and you have to create your own branch first. Okay. Suppose here I have many branches and mostly the master is the always live initial or live branches, the stable versions, right? So either you can create from the master or based on your things like work and everything, you can just set up from anywhere here. Okay. Suppose let me go to this particular Jenkins pipeline 2 versions, and if you can see here, we have one Jenkins file available here. We have one Jenkins file available here. Okay, see Jenkins file available. Let me show you how we can write this Jenkins file. Okay, first just ignore this one. Suppose I want to create first, as I told you have to create your own branch. Suppose I'll give a feature plus Devops hyphen 1.0. This is the branch name I gave, feature slash DevOps 1.0. Now create. So what will happen? It will create a branch from feature pipeline 1.2 to feature DevOps 1.0. So let me edit this Jenkins file. Is it visible? So now what I have to do here? I've started editing or not? Now you can see here pipeline, and we have given agent any, means any agent it will run. But in our case, what do we need? We need this to run on the build server, in our Java build server, right? So instead of any, we have to provide the build server name. So the label we have to provide it here. Okay. So how to write this? You have to just in a curly braces inside, you have to give label, okay, and the label name. What is the label name we had given? So let's go to the Jenkins server, and here we had given Java build server. Okay. So if you are not sure about, go to configure and check the build name, label name, Java build server. Okay. Copy this, go here and provide the. Now then, that means this pipeline is going to work on this particular agent, right? Now tools. So we have to another block. We have to write tools. Under tools, what tool you are going to use? Suppose for in our case, we are going to use Maven. In the tool sections during Maven configurations, I have set it up, right? So that name, let me show you again. So you can find it here. Go to dashboard, manage Jenkins. The tools sections will have this under Maven. This is the name. This is the name which we have given, and this particular name we are going to call it here, right? Where it is going to show it here. See, local. Got it? Now, environment sections is not equal. Let me delete. I'll just explain you later this part. Stages. The first part, I'm going to do the build. Our requirement is to build and deploy. First part, I'm going to do the build. So, I'm using sh slash, sh mbn clean package. And why I have used sh here? Because we are going to execute the things on the Linux platform. We are going to execute this on the Linux platform. That's why we have sh, right? This is the sh command we have given. Sh means we are instructing the Jenkins file. This particular command will be executed under this cell. Okay, clear? Now what I can do? After these steps, I have written a post sections. You remember in the freestyle we used to set up the post build sections, right? Post build sections. After this build is done, what do you want to do? It's given here archiving the artifacts. Archiving the artifact. So upon success, what we can do? We can just archive the artifacts. Okay. So what is doing? Archiving the artifacts. So how we do that? It's just I have written post upon success, giving just print statement here, echoing. Next, what is doing? Archive artifacts, the command, right? Artifacts and ** target ** .work. So when we build the project, it will generate the var file under the target folder. Okay, that's why I've written the target. Now, this post success is done. Next, we have written this build part. And here you can see the build part I have written parallel sections, means parallelly it will run. It will run parallelly. Both the deployment it will run parallelly to deploy to two different servers at the same time. Right? But let me remove one. Let me remove this particular. Let me remove the parallel itself. I don't want, because we are going to deploy into one server only. Right? Remove this. Remove this parallel and remove this particular stage. I don't need this stage to be there. And make sure the intended should be perfect to make it deployment. Okay, so we don't need this also. Let's remove. Not need. I don't need this also. Okay, what happened here? How many stages I have? Two stages: build and deploy. Right? In the build part we completed. In the deploy part, we got this code. Right? Let's remove this part and I'll tell you how to get this. Okay, let me write it here. Some print statement first. Echo deploying the artifacts, deploying the artifacts, simple artifact. Now the command, actual command, you have to provide it here. How will get this one? If you go to the, I'm going to get it, the command. So we have to go to the pipeline syntax. That's called the snippet generator. Through snippet generator, now we'll generate the code to deploy into the Tomcat server, right? So what I'm going to do now, go and create a job in Jenkins, right? Dashboard. Suppose this demo pipeline, I'm going to use it. Let's configure it. There are lots of changes. I'm going to do this. Before that, let me show you how to generate it. Click on this pipeline syntax. Okay. Go to snippet generator. And here, see, archive artifacts already there. I showed you, right? The archive artifacts. This one also you can generate by using this archive artifacts. So if you select here, we have the archive artifacts, then use it and get the command, right? But now I'm going to show you to deploy into the Tomcat server, right? So there will be one command, there will be one option called deploy. This is a plugin. If it is not available here, what you have to do? You have to install the appropriate plugin to get it. Sometimes whenever you will be working, these options will not be there. So what you have to do, you have to install the plugin to get this option, right? Now we have this deploy.var. Select, provide the var and year file name. What is this? You can provide */**.var. Okay. So provide */**.var. So it will go one folder back and get it. Target folder, right? Context path, what it is required? The context path, the container should use to publish the var ER node, that this may get overwritten if the var are deployed to a container specific configuration. So I see the context path, whether you can provide or not is okay. Context path, let it be blank. So containers. So what was our version? 8.5, right? So let's go here, select Tomcat 8 version. Okay, Tomcat 8. Now the credentials. Select the Tomcat credentials. You know how to set up the credentials, right? We already have set up the credentials. Now let's put it there. And the Tomcat URL. What is the Tomcat URL? How to get it? What is the URL? of the Tomcat server. Not only the IP address in your company, it could be a domain name also, server name, right? Tomcat server name. Copy it. So go here, put it. Done. We put the credentials, Tomcat URL, everything is set. Now what you can do? Generate the. So here we have the code. We got it. Now copy this. Like we have kept it in our previous things, we have to simply paste it here, right? Simply paste it here. Done. So what happened here? If you see, it's just using the deploy adapters, Tomcat 8, credential ID, Tomcat create the credential ID name. Path we have given null, nothing to be there. So here is the URL, and here the context path is also null, and the file, which file is going to be deployed. Similarly, whatever is right. Perfect. We got it done. Now let's save this one. Commit this one. Changes. Commit the changes. So we have this feature slash Devops hyphen 1.0 branch, right? Version. What I'm going to do here, let's go to the Jenkins, and here I need to do some changes. Okay. So here I had used the telecom abc.git. So which project I'm going to build now? I'm going to build the DevOps web, right? This is the project I'm going to build. This is a Java project. Now let's copy the URL. Put it here. As this is public one, it will not ask for any password. Okay. Password is not required. Password is not required. This is the public repository. For private, you have to provide the password. Okay. Now save it. Done. And what is the branch? We had given feature slash DevOps hyphen 1.0. This is the branch I'm going to build and deploy. Done. Now let's split path is Jenkins file. Perfect. Save it. Okay. Now what I can do? I can build it. Let's see. It's working or failing. First, it will do the checkout. See, checked out everything. Then it will start building the code. Ambient clean package. Okay, ambient clean package. It started building. It will take lots of time to build it. Okay. Build is success. You can see after build is success, what happened? Post sections, post build, it is just archiving the artifacts. After that, what it did, it deploying the artifacts. So what is it? It is failed. Let's see. DevOps, see, target is DevOps web failed to deploy. Why it is failed? It says password protected. Right. Let's try to fix this error. What is this error? That is the problem. Server returned HTTP response code 403 for URL is manager text list. What is going to the username you provided is not allowed to use text based contact manager. Under this particular path, web apps manager, we have a manager folder, right? Under this manager folder, we'll have some config files. There we have to change something in order to allow the auto deployment. This is now blocking the auto deployment, right? Now what we can do, let's log in back. Okay. cd opt cd tomcat. So under tomcat we have web apps. Let's go web apps. Then manager, right? cd manager. See, we have under this CD manager, we have this meta underscore, sorry, meta hyphen inf folder, right? Meta hyphen inf. Now let's go there. This context.xml. Open this file. What do you have? What is given here? Privileged is true. It is strict class name actually, whatever is privileged true. That's why our grid based user ID and password it's not allowing. Okay. So what do you have to do? What is such? This particular remote address bar, right? What is doing? This particular allow, we are going to uncomment it. Sorry, comment it. We are going to comment this. Okay. See, what's this? Comment this one. So to comment this XML file, what we have to do? We have to use what can you use? You can use exclamations. Then this is the comment in XML file. Okay, I'm going to comment this particular line so that it will not. So this particular line is now commented. Okay, this particular line is now. Let's save it. After doing this, what you have to do? Exactly. So you have to restart the server. So we have to do Catalina stop. Then, so if I just check the server now, let's check the server. See, it's not there. Now let's start. Done. Right. Okay. Now let's execute the job. Let's see whether it is working now or again throwing some issues. Started building. This time the build will be success very quick because already the required packages already downloaded in the first itself, right? Good. Now it is see it is deployed successfully. So this is how actually any issues happen. There could be new issues for you. So we have to just Google it and find the solutions, fix it, and work again, and it will work. Now you can see the first attempt it failed. We fixed something. Second attempt failed. Fix something, then it worked. Right. So if I just go here, our application Devops web app already deployed. So here, let's go web apps folder. Right. I told you just before 3 times. Web apps. Go back here. See, this is deployed. After deployed, it extracted and it created a folder directory. This is the applications DevOps web. So how will I access these applications? If I go here to the and then slash dev, what was the application name? DevOps web, O capital, right? DevOps. Got it? This is the applications now deployed. So here 2.7 version is there. Now let's quickly suppose there is some changes is required. Development team, what they have to do? They have to do some changes. Let's quickly change the code and see whether it is automatically getting reflected or not. That is what the automations where developer has to do the work, automatically it will build and deploy. The continuous integration and continuous deployment will happen. This is as you are sending to lower environment, it will be continuous delivery. Okay. Now what you can do here, quickly I'll go and change something in the code in this particular branch. So suppose the development people, they'll change some their code, new feature they'll add. Suppose I'm going to change not this one. Right. Yes. Let's edit something here. So we had this 2.7 version. Okay. Now let's make it to 3.1. Commit the changes. Done. So now let's Lipu just tell me one answer. Now my requirement is as soon as the developer changes the code, the job should trigger automatically. What should I do? What setup should I do in Jenkins? Understood the question? What setup should I do? GitHub hook. Okay, so we have to set up the build trigger as GitHub webhook. So automatically, once the developer pushes the code, automatically it will trigger the job and it will deploy. As we have not set up anything, if I go there and check our code, refresh it, we are still having 2.7, right? Now what I can do, let's go there and build the project manual here. Click build now, keep build, wait for it, let it get success, and then we'll go and refresh it. And we'll see how it is working. Okay. Then, so what I can do here, let's go to the applications, refresh, right? Currently 2.7, it automatically deploys. We don't have to do anything manually. This is why, see, this is very small project I showed you, but real time. This project is a Java project application. Similarly, you have to similar setups you have to do for other applications also. But you should understand how you need to do it. Clear? Any doubt?